Today we discuss about the atoms, molecules, and nuclei. As per our syllabus, in a hydrogen atom, according to Bohr's postulate, whenever electron is revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit, that time the necessary centripetal force is provided by electrostatic force of attraction between the positive charge nucleus and negative charge electron. So here R is the radius, V is the velocity, and M is the mass of that electron. So according to first postulates of Bohr's theory, we can write here centripetal force is equal to electrostatic force, and its formula is here mv square upon R is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 multiplied by E square upon R square. Now in this case, here Z is equal to 1 for the hydrogen atom. According to first postulates of Bohr's theory, this is the formula mv square upon R is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 multiplied by E square upon R square. Now according to second postulates of Bohr's theory, as Bohr states that electron is revolving in only those orbits having angular momentum is equal to the integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So here angular momentum is equal to integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. So therefore we know the formula for angular momentum, and Vr is equal to, or we can say right here, L is equal to nh upon 2 pi, and therefore Vr is equal to nh upon 2 pi. So this is the according to second postulate. Here angular momentum is represented by nh upon 2 pi. Now according to third postulate, whenever electron revolving in a circular orbit and when it jump from higher orbit to lower stationary orbit, then what happen? When electron jump from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit, that time only energy is emitted in the form of photon. So let us consider here En is the energy of nth orbit and Ep is the energy of eighth orbit. So here, according to third postulate, whenever electron jump from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit, then the excess energy is emitted in the form of photon. So we can write here En minus Ep is equal to h nu. So in this way, these are the three postulates. According to first postulate, centripetal force of revolving electron is equal to the electrostatic force of attraction. For second postulate, electron revolve only in only those orbits having angular momentum is equal to integral multiple of h upon 2 pi. And according to third postulate, when electron jump from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit, then the excess energy is emitted in the form of photon. So these are very important formula for X theory. So what is the radius of an electron in nth Bohr's orbit? So we know the first postulate. According to this first postulate, these are the formula. So we can write here. This formula becomes here RR cancel. So remaining terms is here V square is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 multiplied by E square upon MR. So here M is transferred here. So therefore this is equation number 1. Now according to second postulate, MVR is equal to H upon 2 pi, therefore V is equal to NH upon 2 pi MR, equation number 2. So here, from equation, according to first postulate and according to second postulate, we can write here equation 1 and equation 2. Now equation 1 divided by equation 2. So therefore, when we divide this equation, therefore V is V cancel. Now we can write the V upon V is equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 multiplied by E square upon MR multiplied by 2 pi MR upon NH. So here MR cancel, V cancel, therefore V is equal to E square upon 2 pi epsilon 0 NH. Pi cancel, so here 2 epsilon 0 NH. In general, Vn is equal to E square upon 2 epsilon 0 NH, equation number 1. So this is the expression for velocity of electron in nth Bohr's orbit. When we substitute this value E epsilon 0 nh, then it is obtained here. Velocity of electron in first orbit is 2.148 into 10 to the power 6 meter per second. So here 182. So here this is the velocity of electron in the first Bohr's orbit. So it is in numerical problem, but for objective question for NEET and JEE, you learn the value of electron velocity of electron in first orbit. Now for second radius. Now we know that from first postulate and second postulate, to obtain the value of radius of the electron in nth Bohr's orbit, we can rearrange this V here, V square. Therefore, n square h square upon 4 pi square n square r square. So in this way, this is another formula for velocity v square. So from equation 1 and 2, in this case, what is here? The left hand side are equal. So therefore, we can compare the right hand side. So therefore, from equation 1 and 2, we can write here 1 upon 4 pi epsilon 0 multiplied by e square upon mr is equal to n square h square upon 4 pi square n square r square. So here r cancel, 4 pi cancel. So remaining terms is here 1 upon epsilon 0, 4 cancel, pi cancel, and remaining terms is here n square h square upon pi mr. So here 1 pi is cancelled, r is cancelled, so remaining terms is here. So therefore r is equal to epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi n square. So in general, radius of electron in nth Bohr's orbit is equal to epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi n square. So in this way, from equation 1 2, this is equation number 3. From equation 1 2, this is equation number 3. Now here epsilon 0 h pi n are constant. So therefore we can say that n Rn is directly proportional to n square. Thus we can say that the radius of electron in nth Bohr's orbit is directly proportional to square of principal quantum number. And here E epsilon 0 nh are constant and r constant. Therefore Vn is inversely proportional to 1 upon n. So from this equation we can say that the velocity of electron in nth Bohr's orbit is inversely proportional to principal quantum number. Now also we know that what is the formula for momentum of an electron? It is here mv. So therefore velocity of the moment, we can substitute the value of velocity here. So therefore V is equal to m square upon 2 epsilon 0 nh. So in general we can say that this is the expression for momentum of an electron in nth Bohr's orbit. Thus here me epsilon 0 and h are constant. Therefore Pn is inversely proportional to n. So this is the relation between relation for principal quantum number for different physical quantity. Now we know the formula for velocity. What is the formula for velocity for circular motion of an electron? V is equal to r omega. So therefore omega is equal to V upon r. Now we know value of velocity of electron and radius of electron. When we substitute this value here, so therefore velocity V is represented by e square upon 2 epsilon 0 nh, and r is here and e to the power 4 upon epsilon 0 n square h square. Now here omega is equal to here pi m e to the power 4 e square e to the power 6 radius pi v square. So here 4 upon 2 epsilon 0 square n cube h cube. Thus we can say that the angular momentum of an electron in nth Bohr's orbit is inversely proportional to 1 upon n cube. Now we know the relation for angular velocity and time period. Then we can say that for time period T n is directly proportional to n cube. So in this way, we can determine the force, acceleration, frequency of an electron which is revolving in a or electron in an orbit. So these are the different types of formula. Now here when we substitute the value of this epsilon 0 n square x square upon pi n square, then radius of electron in first Bohr's orbit is represented by 0.53 angstrom. So it is the standard value. If we know the value of radius of electron in first orbit, then we can determine the second. So what is the formula for second orbit? So here by using this relation, we can write here n is directly proportional to r1 into n square. So here r1 for second orbit. From this equation, we can write here Rn is equal to k into n square. So here, when for first orbit, for first orbit, n is equal to 1. Therefore, R1 is equal to k into 1 square. So therefore, R1 is equal to k. Put this value here. So therefore, Rn is equal to Rn is equal to R1 into n square. So here, if we know the value of R1, that is at 0.53, and for second orbit we can write here R2 is equal to 0.53 multiplied by 2 square. So therefore it becomes here 0.53 multiplied by 4, and then we multiply this value. So here 2.12 angstrom. So this is the radius of electron in second Bohr's orbit. So in this way we can determine any radius of electron in a net Bohr's orbit. So in this way we can learn different types of formula for an electron which is revolving. So we know that when electron is revolving around the nucleus, that time it's a there are different physical quantities, that is velocity can be determined. Its velocity is represented by e square upon 2 epsilon 0 n h. Radius is represented by epsilon 0 n square h square upon pi n e square. So here similarly energy of electron is represented by n e to the power 4 minus n e to the power 4 upon 8 epsilon 0 square n square x square. Now momentum P is in this way. These are the important formula for board examination, as well as the different formula we can determine by using this formula. Now we know that an electron is revolving in a circular orbit, then when it jumps from higher station orbit to lower station orbit, then there is energy emitted. So that time the energy of an electron in nth Bohr's orbit is represented by using this formula. So here that time the energy of that photon. Now here according to Bohr's postulate, we know that when electron is revolving, then it associated associated with a wave. And that time that wavelength is calculated by using formula. Lambda is 1 upon lambda is equal to r in bracket 1 upon n square p square minus 1 upon n square. So this is the another relation. So here 1 upon lambda is equal to r in bracket n square minus p square upon p square n square. So here when we know that electron is revolving in different possible orbit from 1 to infinity. So there are different energy levels which is obtained in different region. So we know that there are different spectra in which there is a radiation or emitted in the visible region, ultraviolet region, infrared region. So here there are different energy levels for hydrogen atom. Now here, for ground state, when an electron is revolving in ground state, that time the energy of that electron is represented by E1, and its value is here minus 13.6 electron volt. So here, when electron moving in upward direction, that its energy is here decreases or increases, depends on the formula. So its energy is here decreases. So up to infinity. So here n is equal to 2, n is equal to 3. So when electron jump from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit, then there are different types of transition is here obtained. So when electron jump from higher stationary orbit from n is equal to 2, 3, 4 to fourth orbit, then the radiation is emitted in ultraviolet region, and that is called as is called as Lyman series. So this is about the Lyman series. When electron jump from higher stationary orbit of principal quantum number 3, 4, 5 to the lower principal orbit, lower stationary orbit of principal quantum number p is equal to 2, that time there is a series of wavelength is obtained which is in visible region, and that is called as Balmer series. When electron jump from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit of principal quantum number p is equal to 3, then there is a series of wavelengths is obtained which is obtained in infrared region. Now we know that what is infrared region. When we use the mobile, when we use the remote control of TV, so that time the LED which is emitting radiation in infrared region, which is not visible. So here that is the infrared region. So in this way, such type of series are called as Parsons series. When electron jump from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit of principal quantum number 4, that time the series of wavelength is obtained which is called as Parsons. After Parsons there is Beckett series, and after that if the electron is jumped from higher stationary orbit to lower stationary orbit, then of principal quantum number p is equal to 5, then a series of wavelength is obtained that is called as P-Fund series. So in this way there are different energy levels in which electron may be jumped. So this is about the energy level of hydrogen atom, different energy level of hydrogen atom. So here E2 is equal to minus 13.6 upon 2 square minus 13.6 3 square minus 13.64 square. So there are different energy and we can calculate that energy. So there are different types of objective question may be asked. When electron jump from higher second orbit to first orbit, then how much energy is released? So we know the value. Here, after dividing this value, here we can calculate the different energy of which is released. Excess energy of that electron can be calculated by using this formula. So now here there are different types of series is obtained here: Lyman series, Balmer series, Parsons series, Beckett series, and P-Fund series. So here we know the formula 1 upon lambda is equal to R in bracket 1 upon P square minus 1 upon N square. So when we, for example, there are different types of wavelength, shortest wavelength and longest wavelength for a particular series. Here for longest wavelength, shortest wavelength we can consider here P is equal to, for Lyman series, P is equal to 1 and N is equal to infinity. In that case, this formula here 1 upon lambda LS, wavelength of Lyman series for shortest wavelength, is equal to R in bracket 1 upon 1 square minus 1 upon infinity square, that is equal to R in bracket 1 upon 1 minus 0, therefore 1 upon R. So therefore lambda, therefore that is equal to R, therefore lambda LS is equal to 1 upon r equation number 1. For Balmer series, similarly, when we have substitute the value, then here lambda bs is equal to verb 4 upon r. After squaring 2 square 4 upon r. Lambda ps, wavelength of Parsons, shortest wavelength of Parsons is here 9 upon r. Lambda p bracket br, so it is here 16 upon r. So p1 we can write here 25 upon r. But we know that here r is the constant. So this r is the constant, its value is here. Is here r is equal to 1.097 into 10 to the power 7 per meter. This is the constant value. Or when we substitute this value here, then it's obtained here 1 upon r. Lambda wavelength of 1 upon r is equal to 9, 1, 2 and some meter. So here 1 upon when we substitute the value of 1 upon r is equal to 0.912 and some meter. So here when we consider here lambda ls is equal to 1 upon r, that is equal to 912 and some meter. It is the standard value for shortest wavelength of Raman series. Now here we know the value of 1 upon r is equal to 912. So therefore this can be calculated here 4 multiplied by 912. So therefore 8, 4, 3, 6 and so many. So here we can calculate the wavelength of any line, transition line of this energy level diagram if we know the value of 1 upon r, that is equal to 912 and so on. So in this way we can calculate the shortest wavelength as well as longest wavelength. So these are the 5 formulas for shortest wavelength. Now here for Balmer series, first line is represented by alpha, beta, gamma and delta. So here H alpha, H beta, H gamma and H delta. If you have to calculate the wavelength of H alpha line. So what is the value of P is here 2 and N is equal to 3. So we can calculate here P is equal to 2 and N is equal to 3. So here P is equal to 2 and N is equal to 3 for H alpha line. So here we can calculate here 1 upon lambda alpha is equal to r in bracket 1 upon 2 square minus 1 upon 3 square. So therefore 1 upon lambda alpha is equal to r in bracket 1 upon 4 minus 1 upon 9. Therefore 1 upon lambda alpha is equal to r 9 minus 4 upon 26. So therefore that is equal to 5 upon 5 r upon 26. Therefore lambda alpha is equal to 36 upon 5 r. Now we know the value of r is equal to 912. So when we multiply this equation and divide by 5, then we can calculate the H alpha 9. So in this way it is very important for different line. Okay, if we know the value of different energy level, value of P and N, and when we substitute this value in this function, then we can calculate any transition line, wavelength of any transition line. So this is about the wavelength of a different energy level. So you have any doubt? Okay. You know about de Broglie wavelength? Yes. De Broglie wavelength. Okay. So what is de Broglie hypothesis? So according to de Broglie hypothesis, it is also that he explained that when electron is revolving around the nucleus in circular orbit, so this is the nucleus, and here electron is revolving in circular orbit. So that electron whenever moving, so according to de Broglie, he said that for a moving small particle, it associated with wave. So here electron is moving in this way. So electron is revolving in only those orbits having angular momentum is equal to integral multiple of 1 upon 2 pi. So it is very important. If if the phase of that electron is not correct, then it is impossible to move that electron in that orbit. So it is according to second postulate of Bohr's theory. This law is verified here. So here, when electron is revolving, whenever small particle like electron, proton, neutron, which is moving just like a wave. So we know that when a particle is moving in the form of wave and it has certain wavelength. So that time we know that about mass energy of electron is represented by energy is represented according to Einstein's mass energy relation. E is equal to mc square. But we know that E is equal to h nu according to third postulate of Bohr's theory. Whenever electron jump from highest distance orbit to lowest distance orbit, then there is energy is emitted in the form of photon, and that photon having certain wavelength that is calculated by using this formula. So these are the equation number 1 and this is equation number 2. So from this equation 1 and 2 we can compare from equation 1 and equation 2 we can write here mc square is equal to h nu, but we know nu is equal to c bar lambda. Frequency, nu is the frequency, nu is equal to c bar lambda. Therefore mc square is equal to hc bar lambda. Therefore mc is equal to h upon lambda. Therefore lambda is equal to h upon mc. But here if a particle is moving with velocity p and having mass m, then this formula becomes lambda is equal to h upon mv, equation number 3. Now we know that what is mv? Mv is the product of mass and velocity is called as momentum. So therefore lambda is equal to h upon p, equation number 4. So this is the expression for de Broglie wave. Whenever a electron is revolving in a circular orbit, then it associated with a wave, and that wave is calculated wavelength, and that wave having certain wavelength, then that can be calculated by using this formula. If we know the velocity, mass, and this h is the Planck's constant, so we can calculate the wavelength of that moving electron. Now we know that under the action of electric field, whenever electron is moving in a vacuum tube, that time its potential energy is converted into kinetic energy. In a tube light, when electric field is applied, that time the electron is moving from one end to another end under the action of that electric field. So here the potential energy is represented by ED and kinetic energy is represented by mv square. So here the velocity of electron can be calculated here twice EB upon m. Therefore v is equal to under root of twice EB upon m. Put this value in equation 3. So therefore lambda is equal to h upon m under root of twice EB upon m. Now rearrange this equation, h upon under root of twice m E B upon m. So therefore wavelength lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice m E B. Equation number 5. Now we know the formula. Here this EV is equal to kinetic energy. If we represent this EV, but EV is equal to E is the kinetic energy of that moving electron. So this equation 4 can be written here. lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice m e. So in this way, these are the different formula for de Broglie gradient. That is here lambda is equal to h upon m p, lambda is equal to h upon p, lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice m e d, lambda is equal to h upon under root of twice m e. So these are the different form of de Broglie gradient in terms of velocity, in terms of momentum, in terms of potential difference, in terms of kinetic energy. Now here h is constant, m is constant, e is constant. So when we substitute this value, then it is observed that the de Broglie wavelength of moving electron is equal to 1 point something. It's a wavelength is here they are represented by 1.1 angstrom unit full divided by under root of v. So that can be calculated by substitute the value of h and e. So in this way there are different formula for de Broglie wavelength. ओके इसको बंद कर देगा मैं ऑक्सीजन को बात कर देता हूँ